For a while now, I've said that 2025 will be the year when almost everything changes in the world of crypto. This means that things are starting to come together so that trillions of dollars can really pour into this area. You get the idea. It sounds too good to be true, like it could never happen. Hey, guess what? Is not the most important thing here. This is taking place. We should instead look at the facts. Look at what's going on here. Check out what's going on all around you. Take a look at the sponsors of some of these big events and see who you know. One such is this one from Subjective Views, which is at DC FinTech Week 2025 and is sponsored by Ripple. These are some of the people who are going to this event. I mean, big banks like Citi and the Bank of England. The SEC, the DTCC, and the FDIC will also be there. In our minds, there are certain names that come to mind when we think of these events that Ripple sponsors and Brad Garlinghouse talks with these people. It's clear that this place is changing. Crypto projects are getting more valuable as the market moves from a stage of hype and speculation to a more mature stage where value is added through acceptance and use in the real world. Yes, that's exactly what this channel is all about. It's clear that the space is changing when we think about it. And what we're seeing now are all the steps that are being taken to bring trillions and trillions of dollars into the space. Does it matter if I say that trillions of dollars are going into space? Does that mean that big amounts of money will buy XRP? Not really. Lots of projects that involve steady coins, tokenization, and other things will bring in a lot of money. Do I also think that XRP and other digital assets will be worthless in a few years? That is also a puzzle piece. But besides this event, we're also getting big news like this. That's the case with the CFTC, and the bet follow level, being able to trade digital goods right away, is very important to the government. You need to pay attention. You already know that. To stress how crazy this is yet again, they want to let people trade crypto right away at the highest level possible. The CFTC now thinks this is very important. We got news from Caroline D. Pam on the 21st. By the way, she met Brad Garlinghouse at Ripple headquarters in 2022. She said that the CFTC will begin its next crypto run today to give the president's working group on digital asset markets its suggestions. Report to do something. Pam, who is in charge, will start talking to people who have an interest in all of the other report ideas for the CFTC. People asked her about the CFTC crypto run at the beginning of the month. On the other hand, this big push tells us everything we need to know. They know that a lot of people want crypto. They know crypto will become very popular. For those of us who got in early, this is a huge chance. A lot of people don't seem to. To figure out what time it is, let's watch this movie scene first. People are talking about XRP here, but this guy is, wealthy Bill Miller. He says that 1% of the $60 trillion that is in retirement funds around the world could make Bitcoin worth $30,000. Believes that investing 2% is a safe amount. This would cause Bitcoin's price to rise by $60, $60,000. But they don't say that what's good for Bitcoin is good for everything else. What does the fact that Bitcoin will keep going up in value mean for XRP, up while XRP keeps doing better than Bitcoin? We should keep this in mind as we think about how big Bitcoin will get and when it will be well known. It means that XRP will also become very valuable. I think XRP would go up at least $1 to $2 if the price of Bitcoin went up by $60,000. Since many Bitcoin fans will say it's all about Bitcoin, let's take a look at what else is going on in the area to make room for Bitcoin. It's also great news for XRP, but see this show. Around the world, people have $60 trillion in retirement funds that are not currently invested in digital assets. Every time 1% of that $60 trillion is given away, the price of Bitcoin goes up by $30,000. All of those assets are currently in a financial system whose leaders have told you they want it to lose value by 2% every year. Because of this, I think a 2% share is too low. So why wouldn't those accounts bet 2% of everything that an ice cube is worth and follow a different set of rules? That's enough to get us to Bitcoin at 175K, which is more than 50% from here on out. We still think it's way too early. Still, there are early signs that it will be okay with organizations. Look at Norris. With assets worth nearly $2 trillion, it is the largest sovereign wealth fund in the world. It has put more money into Bitcoin and other digital investments. The way they round is still wrong. However, if the Harvard Endowment, which is the largest sovereign wealth fund in the world, starts buying Bitcoin, other colleges and sovereign wealth funds will be able to do the same. Money to do the same thing. This is a very interesting change. What do you think these players will say when this starts to spread to Ethereum? It already has, and it will then spread to XRP. A lot of people don't know how big these projects are going to get. These projects have value and use in the real world, and it's the use that changes a lot of asset types. Once more, This market and most of the people who work in it are not ready for what's going to happen to old coins like XRP. This page also has a message from Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. I think that by 2030, each Bitcoin will worth $1 million. But let him explain why he feels this way. When 2030 comes around, I believe Bitcoin will be worth $1 million. There are also big error bars around these things. You do know that it's just a few facts though, right? That the US and the rest of the G20 are becoming more clear on rules is a good sign, in my opinion. The Genius Act is the name of the rule that already covers stable coins. The Senate is still talking about this idea though. We expect something to happen by end of the year. That is a very important thing to do. For now, the US government has a Bitcoin store for when they need it. That's how it would have looked 5 years ago. I would have said it was like a vision board and that neither the US government nor Bitcoin would be held by them. There is now an executive order that says other countries must do the same thing, and I think a lot of them will. Sovereigns seem to be very interested, right? In fact, Coinbase provides cryptocurrency services to around 140. All levels of government are included, from the federal to the local to the international. As time goes on, the government is getting more involved, and you can only think how much money is out there. The rules are not likely to end anytime soon. Will the government close this down? One of the big risks. That risk seems to have gone down a lot. Then will a bug be found in the Bitcoin protocol? That's probably been looked at a lot of times now. We need to make sure we move to coding after quantum mechanics. What about shapes that are elliptic? Are they already past the quantum state or not? They might be, but I don't think I can really prove it. I haven't tried it yet, but yeah, I don't think so. I believe the Bitcoin core team, Ethereum, Solana, and everyone else can look at ways to make things better right now so that they can post. Yes. Yes. I agree that the list of risks is getting shorter, but at the same time, there are a lot of people who want to buy Bitcoin, but big banks are waiting for the next bill to come out. The big companies I talked to say that Bitcoin makes up 1% of their portfolio. When I asked them what it would be like to have 5, 10 times that amount, they say that they would like clear regulations. I believe that huge amounts of money will keep coming in. ETFs have grown a great deal. Clear rules are only there because that's what businesses need to see in order to buy and hold Bitcoin. Okay? Instead, why not use Bitcoin for good things? That means the price will go up to $1 million. Because do you remember what these utility-based projects can do with clear rules? When the rules are clear, projects like XRP become very valuable. Why? We don't want to see it at all. That's because it's okay. Just like these big businesses buying and holding Bitcoin is okay. That means these big businesses can start working on projects that are useful and use them in their daily work. What we're talking about is, work tasks that are done automatically. This could go a lot of different ways. And we keep thinking about what it could mean for Bitcoin. Coins. What does this mean? Think about what the whole area changes when rules are made clear. It will let billions of,